Hi everyone, this is Tim, your Block 1 lecture instructor, and today we're going to cover chapter 26, which is nutrition. The learning outcomes for this chapter are going to be differentiate among the various sources for nutritional information, review the types, sources, and functions of the various energy nutrients, identify nutritional considerations for adult and older adults, discuss what affects a person's nutritional status, describe the components of a nursing nutritional assessment, identify assessment findings that would indicate a nutritional imbalance in patients, discuss various nursing diagnoses and goals associated with nutrition and nutrition imbalances, describe nursing interventions related to supporting a patient's nutrition, including special diets and any special needs, describe techniques for stimulating a person's appetite, and finally, safely provide internal nutrition for patients. So, nutrition. Good nutrition is essential for wellness, and poor nutrition contributes to disease. I think that I found that in your book. I think that's probably as simple as you're going to get it, and probably is going to be as factual as you're going to get. Um, I'll go through these slides and I'll kind of get on my little soapbox about nutrition. And I by no means am I the healthiest person or the healthiest eater in the world, but I think with my years of bedside experience and seeing how people live and how they eat, and then you kind of observe them or assess them, you kind of it just really makes sense. So, like I said, kind of bear with me as I go through these slides and kind of get on a soapbox about just basic common sense of nutrition and just eating habits and everything kind of goes along with it. So nutrition, it's the study of food, how it affects the body and influences health. Adequate nutrition is essential for wellness. Nutrients, it's the building block for cells and tissues. It supplies energy, helps manufacture, maintain, and repair cells. It's found in foods and is changed and used in the body through metabolism. So here's some guides for nutritional information. We've got the dietary reference intake. We've got the USDA dietary guidelines. We have food pyramids or food plates, and then we have nutritional facts, which is found on every product that you buy that you consume. So types of energy nutrients. We have carbohydrates. Carbs perform several functions. They supply energy for muscle and organ function. They are spare protein. They enhance insulin secretion. They increase satiety. They improve absorption of sodium and the excretion of calcium. With proteins, it's tissue building and wound healing. It's an energy source. It balances acid and bases. It also improves the immune system function, and it also balances fluids. Keep in mind that the average adult needs about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. So for you and I, that's, again, 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. But if you have a patient who has a lot of wounds or an immune system that's not functioning properly, you're going to need more protein for all the things that it can do. So keep that in mind, especially when you're kind of doing some studying. All right, so for lipids, they supply nutrients. They're an energy source. They flavor your food and provide satiety, insulation and protection for your organs, and also lipids form cholesterol, which helps digest fat. You also have the micronutrients, which is another type of energy. You'll find the vitamins and minerals on table 26-4 and table 26-5, which you will find on pages 610 and 613. I don't expect you to memorize them all, but I would like for you to read through them, understand them, be familiar with them. So when we go over them in class, you have kind of an idea of what they do, and plus I can answer some questions that you may have. So other nutrients, there's water. This makes up large percentage of body weight. It's a solvent for chemical processes, and it also transports substances, and it maintains body temperature. You guys have all, have had A&P and nutrition and stuff, so you know how essential water is to your body for hydration, and like I said, transporting of just everything that's in your body. It just needs water. So energy balance concepts, energy and nutrients measured in calories. Calories in must equal calories burned. So this is where I get on my soapbox. Um, this, besides good nutrition and being essential for wellness, and poor nutrition contributing to disease, this is your second basic um, piece of wisdom that I can possibly give you. If you consume 1,000 calories in a meal, you need to burn 1,000 calories in order to not gain weight. So if you are eating 1,000 calories per meal per day, so that's, let's say, 3,000 calories, you need to go to the gym, you need to walk, you need to do something to actually burn 3,000 calories off. If you don't, you're going to get fat. There's no simpler way to put it than that. If you consume 3,000 calories in a day and you burn off 2,000 calories of it, then you're going to um, maintain 1,000 calories per day, and let's just say over a process of a week, that's 7,000 calories. So when people don't understand why they gain weight and they're not losing anything, it's all based on diet, it's all based on exercise, and it's just that simple. Again, I'm not the guru to fitness and eating healthy, but again, when you become a nurse or even throughout your clinicals, you'll start assessing patients and you'll look at the people and you'll just wonder how they got so obese. Now, a percentage of that could be due to metabolism and different aspects and problems of their life as far as physical problems. But for the most part, as far as Americans and people complaining about how fat we are and stuff, this is truly bare bones. All right, so we also have the BMR, also known as the basal metabolic rate, and the amount of energy required at rest. We also have total energy needs, replacing calories used for BMR in physical activity. So factors that affect nutrition, there's developmental stages from infants to elders. You do have the table 26-8 to look at. Again, familiarize yourself with the different stages and who needs what as far as consuming calories. They have educational level. If people don't understand um, good nutrition and good foods and good shopping habits, they have to be taught. So for educational level, if people aren't aware or understand these things, and again, most of the stuff is, you know, whether it be traditions or culture or ethnicity, um, we learn to eat from our parents and our friends and family and stuff. So if that's all we know, then again, we have to be educated as far as how to change those habits. Knowledge about nutrition includes the concepts and access. Um, you know, Basically going to the grocery store and picking out good healthy foods, um, as opposed to constantly going to fast food restaurants or eating out, or just going to the grocery store and not knowing which foods you should be buying to provide energy and nutrients. So factors that affect nutrition is also lifestyle choices, dietary patterns. We should be eating several meals throughout the day to get what we need to be able to burn off what we've used or what we've consumed. Um, so dietary patterns is a big part of it. Vegetarianism. I have friends and family members that are vegetarians and they live very good and healthy lifestyles. But they're also have educated themselves and they've lived years with being a vegetarian. So, dieting, that's a big one. We've got, wrote down a few things. So I found this in your book, which I thought was very interesting. They have fad diets, which are usually quick ways of losing weight and effortless weight loss. They're usually quick and dramatic. Basically, they're loss of body fluids. You will start a diet. There's certain things you eat, and basically flushes out your system. And the weight you've lost is water weight. Um, Once you've lost all that, then you have to do something else or continue this regimen in order to lose more weight. So again, comes down to eating healthy and exercising. Let's see here. Fat diets also limit the range of foods that you eat. I've never quite understood why, as far as Atkins diets and, I think it was the South Beach diet and all the other diets and stuff, and they limit what you can consume and also certain aspects of the type of energy nutrients that we obtain. So, like with the Atkins diet, they're telling you to just do protein, protein, and no carbs. Well, you need the carbs for energy. So I can see limiting what you consume. I just cannot imagine taking something completely out. So, and again, there's no practical strategies. Basically, it's, eat right, exercise, um, and you'll lose the weight. Other factors are ethnicity and cultures, religious practices, disease processes. If you have a patient who have ulcers or skin breakdown or immune system problems, they have to be able to consume more proteins and more healthy foods in order to heal and boost their immune system and get better. And there's also functional limitations. Again, I'm not saying that, all heavyset or obese people are just sitting around watching TV, but there are things that limit people to be able to exercise, and whether it be arthritis or um, you know problems with their bones and their joints and RA and all those things. I mean, there are reasons, but for the most part, you can still do what you can in order to burn off the energy. So we have special diets. These are diets or common diets that are found in the hospital for patients that you'll take care of. With the clear liquid diet, basically it's anything you can see through. So it will be Sprite, Jello, um, soup, which is really broth. Um, what else can we have? There's coffee, there's tea. Again, anything, if you can see through it, it's a clear liquid. We have full liquid, which is soups, milks, puddings, custards, hot cereals, and yogurts. We also have mechanical soft, which is any food that's easy for your patient to chew. So usually it's like, pastas and chickens and eggs and, things that they're able to uh, chew easily and swallow easy. We have pureed, so that's any food that you can imagine that is able to be put into a blender and they blend it. The cardiac diet, which is low in sodium and low in fat. Those are for the patients usually on the telefloor. We have diabetic diets, which are usually low in carbs. I know that at Scottsdale we have three different types of carb diets. They have the low, moderate, and high. And I think moderate 60 and high is 75. Renal diet, these are usually low in proteins, low in fluids, and electrolyte controlled. Their kidneys aren't functioning properly, so they don't break down and process protein real well. Obviously, the fluid restriction is kind of a big part of it. And then electrolyte controlled because the kidneys can't process the electrolytes real well. If they keep consuming more electrolytes, then that just keeps increasing their potassium level and sodium level. I mean, and we're talking beyond the norms. So. And then we also have protein push. Usually, those are again patients who have ulcers and or some sort of wounds that need to be healed. And the more protein they consume, the faster that will heal. Alterations in nutrition. We have overweight and obesity, consumes nutrients in excess of metabolic demands, more than needed for activity, gender, height, and weight. We've got overweight, which is a body mass index of greater than 25 but less than 29. We've got obesity, which is a body mass index of over 30. Underweight and undernutrition is insufficient intake of protein, fat, and vitamins and minerals, consuming less calories than needed according to activity, gender, height, and weight. So again, based on your demands is basically you consume, and that keeps you balanced. So screening for nutritional problems, we've got obtain a dietary history, 24-hour recall. I couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast, let alone what I ate yesterday. But when you're the patients in the hospital, they have a dietitian that comes around, and usually they tape something on the door, and every time they eat, you take their little slip that has all the things that they had for their meals, and you write how much percentage it is and stuff. It's to be able to um, calculate and find out how many calories they're consuming so we can tell whether or not they're getting the right amount of food. Let's see here. So we've got subjective global assessment scales. We've got mini nutritional assessment scales, nutrition screening initiatives, and body compositions. So identifying nutritional imbalances, you can do a complete physical examination, which you're going to do anyways as you get a new admission to the hospital. So you'll do a general survey, alterations and vital signs. You'll assess their skin for poor skin turgor or wound healing, concave abdomen and ascites, change of muscle mass as far as losing weight. You also look at their lab results, a change in blood glucose, serum albumin, and creatinine and hemoglobin, because diets affect these labs specifically. So if you have someone who has a low albumin and a low hemoglobin, that's usually a sign of malnourishment and not getting enough protein in the diet. Some NANDA nursing diagnoses related to nutritional problems. We have adult failure to thrive. We've got imbalanced nutrition, more than body requirements. Imbalanced nutrition, less than body requirements. We've got readiness for enhanced nutrition, which means that they're ready to learn about how to eat better and buy better foods. We've got risk for imbalanced nutrition, which is more than body requirements, which means that you're not obese, but you will get there. And we also have self-care deficit. Some people, especially the elderly population, they live alone. They don't want to make a meal for just one person, and they find that if they, eat something simple like, I don't know, peanut butter and crackers and a glass of milk, or um, popcorn for dinner instead of actually making real food, or even canned foods. I know that if I'm at home alone and I just don't feel like making something, I'll make soup. So elderly people, it's inexpensive and it's easy to make, and you can make one can for one person, so soup is perfect. But if you live off of it long enough, you'll make yourself sick. Diagnosis is used as an etiology. They have activity intolerance, constipation, low self-esteem, and risk for infection. Managing nutritional imbalances for planning. Must identify the cause of the imbalance. Examples of reasons for undernourishment is difficulty chewing or swallowing. Again, you'll put them on some sort of mechanical soft or pureed diet. Alcoholism. People who are alcoholics tend to drink all their meals. And there's lots of calories, but there's no nutrients in alcohol, obviously. And we got metabolic disorders. Examples of reasons for overnutrition, overeating, lack of exercise, and endocrine problems. And according to the Healthy People 2010, promote health and reduction of chronic diseases associated with diet and weight. Again, if you can watch your diet, watch your weight, then a lot of times the chronic problems will start to decrease. So managing nutritional imbalances, there's interventions. Start with the client and the family and teach them. Vitamin and mineral supplements, obtaining nutritious foods at a limited budget. I think it's very interesting that you can go to McDonald's and order, food for your entire family off the dollar menu, but then you go to the grocery store and you can't afford it because of the fact that healthy food, and especially fruits and vegetables, breads, things that are really nutritionally good for you, are just so expensive. So a lot of times you have to teach your patients how to work with their budget and still be able to get the right foods. Supporting special clients' nutritional needs, clients who are NPO or nothing by mouth. You have a patient that comes in, might have some sort of abdominal problem or nausea and vomiting, and you can't feed them. Well, 24 hours later, they've received nothing. Options that you have are TPN, or you can also put them on other maintenance fluids to at least keep them hydrated. And you have to watch, especially for older adults, because they're not, the older you get, the more you kind of lose that instinct of feeling hungry. So again, you have to kind of watch what they're not consuming in order to keep them healthy. Assist clients with meals for the inpatient, delegate feeding, ask your CNA to, feed your patients that can't feed themselves, or you could do it yourself. I mean, as long as they're getting fed. But I think for this part, it's kind of teaching delegation. So for the most part, this is something you can delegate to your CNA. For home care, refer to an agency for help obtaining food. They've got Meals on Wheels. They've got other organizations that can either drop off food or get the patient to some place where they can get food, like food banks and stuff. Some interventions for obesity, assist with calorie calculations and meal planning. I wrote this down in my notes, but I forgot to mention it on one of the slides. Let's see here. On page 615, I would like for you to um, learn how to calculate the patient total energy needs. Um, so check that out. Be familiar with it. This is something you probably use as a nurse, and especially with nutrition. So I want you to kind of know how to do that. Um, and also, I think I might have mentioned that earlier, but I also want you to be able to calculate the body mass index, which is on 626, if I didn't mention that already. So back to interventions for obesity: encourage exercise and lifestyle changes, weigh weekly, and suggest a food diary. Allows them to kind of write things down and kind of keep track of what they're consuming. So managing nutritional imbalances, some interventions for undernutrition: encourage the patient to seek counseling for eating disorders and management, devise strategies to improve clients' appetite. Um, I, Especially working in the hospital, I've had patients that they just don't like our food. And I've worked there for about 10, 11 years or so, and the food actually isn't bad, but after a while it starts to get kind of boring. So for patients who just don't want to eat or not in the mood or just not feeling hungry, I've asked the family members to bring in their favorite foods. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something they love and will eat, and it helps bring back their appetite a little bit. Scottsdale also feeds our patients like they're lumberjacks. So they always bring these big, huge meals, and the patients look at it and go, I'm not able to eat all that. I don't care. Just pick at it, eat what you can. And if you don't eat a lot, I'll just order you another meal in an hour or two. So, for patients who aren't able to eat or don't want to eat a lot, keep ordering them food. And every time it comes, just have them pick at it. Something's better than nothing. So they also have the internal feeding and the parental nutrition, which is the TPN that I mentioned. This basically has all the vitamins and minerals and electrolytes, everything that you possibly can need in a IV bag, and it runs over a 24-hour period. And you also have to be able to put it in a PICC line. So that's another option as far as getting your patient what they need. So evaluation, the goals established in the planning phase are evaluated according to specific desired outcomes. And if the outcomes are not achieved, the nurse should re-explore the reasons why. And that makes sense. That's the end of the PowerPoint. Go over the chapter, write down any questions you may have, and we'll go over this in class. Thank you very much.